Welcome to the Football Show. I'm Peter Martin. Tam McManus is alongside me. Tam, lots to talk about. Of course, we're getting ready for the new season, but I think the main point that we're going to discuss is, of course, Panathinaikos won, Rangers won. I think Chris Doolan and myself called it on Monday's show. Great result for Rangers, and the result really, Tam, 3-1 in aggregate's all that matters.
Yeah, it was, Peter. I don't think it was pretty at times over the two legs. I thought if you look at it, if you break it down, Panathinaikos probably edged it in terms of chances. They didn't take them, Rangers took their chances. And they go through. That's all that matters, Peter. They'll go into the next round against Victoria Pilsen, who caused a little bit of an upset against Servette last night. But I think if you're a Rangers supporter looking at it, there's definitely room for improvement in a lot of areas.
Yeah, I think Russell Martin actually said that listen, if you look back, I can think of Gordon Strachan playing against Armedia Bratislava. I think he said it's going to be on his tombstone, 5-0. But at the end of the day, what managers try and emphasise to you, if you're a new manager coming in, you're looking at the squad, you're trying to tweak it as you go. Russell Martin has said to the players, look, I'm proud of you, but we're going to get better.
Yeah, I think they'll have to get better, Peter. I think there's tougher tasks ahead. I think Pilsen will be a better side than Panathinaikos. I thought they had a lot of good play up to the final third and then kind of were toothless in the final third. They missed some opportunities, but...
You say toothless, I say hopeless.
Yeah, they didn't take their opportunities. I think if they'd have got an early goal, it might have been a different game. But they didn't get that. I thought Jack Butland, again, back to his best, Peter. I think he took a lot of criticism last season from Rangers supporters. They were looking for a new goalkeeper in the summer, but he's came in, he's done really, really well in the first couple of games. I thought Jigger was excellent at the back as well. Concerning for me would be still the two full-back areas, Peter. I'm not so sure about James Tavernier in that right-back area defensively, and Max Aarons was like a fish out of water on the left side.
Yeah.
He was very fortunate when he dallied on it and the boy robbed him.
And John Suter got caught in the ball as well.
John Suter got caught in the ball. So I think there's a lot of improvement, a lot of work to do for Rangers, but listen, the only thing that mattered in this tie was getting through. And Rangers have managed to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in the first half alone, I think there was 4 clear-cut chances, and it kind of suggested, and it wasn't too different from what had happened at Ibrox, because I think when you look at over the two legs, Rangers had 34 shots against them, which is a lot when you consider two legs against a team that I thought, certainly on the evidence of what I witnessed at Ibrox, I thought they were poor in front of goal. They replicated that even in front of a home crowd. And the one thing that did look disjointed was that Rangers back line. And by the way, as you know yourself, you defend from middle back line as well. Everybody has to chip in, but they just look so disjointed.
Yeah, they did, Peter, but it's kind of new back four. So I think it will take time to gel, but I think if you're a Rangers supporter, you're looking at it going, you're happy you got through, but if you come up against a better side in the final third, I think you go out that tie. I think that you would get punished, particularly the one that was cut back to the 6-yard box and he blazed it over the bar.
Yeah.
I think it might have been Palestri who missed a sitter, who was decent on the night, but yeah, I think Rangers will have to improve, Peter. I think, in terms of getting players in as well, I think to get a few players in, there's areas that they have to improve, but I thought middle of the park as well, I thought Raskin was excellent, I thought he had a good game, Peter. I think he's grown, grown in stature every game I see him. I think he's a really, really good player. I think he's one of Rangers' best players. I thought Danilo up front was poor. I personally think he's a busted flush now, Peter. I think they're trying to get him into the team and trying to get something for the money they paid, but I just don't see it with him. I thought they looked a far better and dangerous outfit when Dessers come on. So I think there's players in that team who I don't think will start at the start of the season.
Well, you know yourself, because you're a striker, if I look at the technical ability of Gassama to finish that, and it was a difficult height, and he absolutely caught it sweet. It was a great goal so soon after they'd lost the goal. I don't know about you, but when it first went in, I thought, this guy's miles offside. And then you see it from another angle. But right away, Rangers needed to respond because suddenly that goal lifted the crowd. But boy, he took it well, the equaliser, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and he started fantastically well, Peter. 2 goals in his first couple of games. I think Rangers might have got a wee gem in him. I know Sheffield Wednesday are struggling financially and they're offloading a lot of players. So for Rangers to get him for a song, is looking like great business already. He looks a really, really dangerous player. Scored a great goal in the first leg. Took his goal well last night. I think when he's up to speed, fitness-wise, he goes straight into the team. And I think you'll see a real potent, player on that left side.
I look at them, Tam, and again, I never like to judge teams so early on. You can have, and I think it's very loaded against teams when you're trying to get up to speed, to get European football, to get the big kitty, which is the Champions League money. The good news is that Rangers are guaranteed Europa League with that result. But the hurdles that they've still got to face now, third round, then a playoff to try and get to the group stages of the Champions League. It's a tall order. And as you say, they will come up against teams that are more clinical. I don't see this team that we witnessed right now as the team that will gradually hit late August, September, that Russell Martin will want. And I don't see the striking department. I agree with you. If Cyril Dessers can score 29 goals and still not be a fan's favourite, then even Dessers for me will be one of those players they're trying to offload.
Yeah, but I thought they looked much better when he came on, Peter. I know he missed the chance when he went through, but he threatens him behind. He plays in the shoulder. He's always dangerous for me. He gets himself into positions to score, and I think, which is the main thing for a striker. I think Danilo done a lot of doggies, a lot of kind of unseen work last night, but he doesn't threaten him behind, Peter. He's not going to run him behind you. And I thought that Rangers, when Dessers come on, caused them problems. He sat a little bit deeper. It gave Rangers more space. So I agree. I don't think Danilo will start the season. I don't think Max Aarons will start at left back. I think he's going to be a right back for me. I think he looks uncomfortable on that left hand side, and he was over the two legs. He was given a bit of a going over by Palestre at times. So I think you could maybe see him going at the right back area, but James Tavernier's the captain. So
where does he go? Does he go centre half?
I don't think he's a left back, Peter.
Do you think he's a centre half?
I don't know. No, I don't think Max Aarons is a centre half either, but Tavernier could move in, maybe one.
Yeah.
Jeffrey probably obviously come on, and you would think he's more comfortable at left back, but I agree. I think there's still positions up for grabs at Rangers. I don't think that'll be the team that starts, as you said, the end of August, start of September.
Yeah, if I was looking and I was Russell Martin and I was looking at the recruitment team and sitting down and saying, okay, we've got another hurdle and another hurdle to get to Champions League in that kitty. If we're going to roll the dice here and obviously start the domestic season, they need to start the domestic season really well. I look at the back line. I would say they're maybe 3 or 4 players short. I still think they need a prolific striker that the fans are going to get excited by. Obviously, the link with the Tottenham youngster, but he's a youngster coming on loan. But I would look and say to myself, I like Diamande. Connor Barron could come in there. Raskin's definitely going to be the man that they want to build the team around. And then I look at the back line, I think they need something else.
Yeah, I think over the course of the 2 games, definitely, Peter. I think Jack Butland, kept him in the game at times, with some fantastic saves. So, yeah, I think they do need to tighten up a wee bit at the back. Russell Martin's got a way of playing. He wants his defenders to come out with the ball. He wants them to pass through the lines. And it was risky at times because I thought Panathinaikos let Rangers have the ball at the back, and then once it got played into midfield, they nicked it time after time and countered on them. As I said, they didn't have the quality to punish Rangers, but better teams will. So, yeah, I think defensively they've got to tighten up a little bit. I thought Suter did a decent game, him and Jigger. I thought they were decent, but the 2 full-back areas are still a big concern if I'm looking at it from a Rangers point of view. Yeah,
as for getting into the group stages, again, we can only assess the early form or the way they've played before. I mean, that was a big shock, certainly for Rangers. I don't think they thought they were going to be playing in this next round. That was a good performance, and we'll have to analyse them to see exactly what Rangers are going to face.
Yeah, I think Victoria Pilsen were probably favourites over the 2 legs, but losing the first tie at home, you think Servette would be favourites to go through, but I think there was a couple of red cards in the game last night. I didn't see it, but I think Rangers would probably prefer to play Servette. I think they're probably the weaker side of the 2. Listen, they win this tie, they go into the knockout to get into the Champions League, but I think it's a 50-50 game, Peter. I think Rangers will improve over the 2 games. I think the first tie's at home as well. So if Rangers can again, go and win 1 or 2-0 and go over there, then I think they can cause problems. But I think Pilsen will be a step up for Panathinaikos. Yeah,
it's a great result for Rangers. What do you think of it all? Give us your thoughts on the feed below on that. And over and above that, don't forget, with PLZ Soccer, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. The football show remains free throughout the whole season, but what we will do is offer you even more exciting content. We're going to get Tam out and about chatting to people. We've got lots of things to offer you, which over the course of the season, you can subscribe to PLZ Soccer's premium channel, where you get the opportunity to win some fabulous prizes, and throughout the month of August we'll be offering you the chance to win a replica Napoli top. Scott McTominay, number 8 on the back, man of the moment. an unbelievable season that he will never be forgotten for.
Yeah, I think for him and Billy Gilmore, Peter, to go over there and win Serie A, first Scottish players that have done that is a massive feather in their cap. You've seen the scenes at the end of it, the open top bus must have been fantastic. I think he's drinking coffee, smoking fags and drinking whiskey, so he's certainly settled in Italian philosophy.
It was the most outrageous thing ever to see, wasn't it?
Yeah, smoking a fag. I think he could have smoked anything he wanted, to be fair, after winning the league, but yeah, he's a real hero there, and I think he was one of the best players in the league. So I think it's great for Scottish football, but not only for that, but for Scottish players. I think the Italian market, we're looking at Lewis Ferguson, Aaron Hickey went over there and done well. Obviously, those two boys, I'll be looking at Lennon Miller's, guys like that, and thinking, by the way, they're capable of coming over and doing well for us.
Yeah, we talked about, that's your food delivered now, Tom. We talked about the goals, Gassama taking his goal well, and looks like a player for Rangers. Who do you think is going to be the man that's the top scorer, somebody to light up the league?
I think it depends, Peter, if Dessers is still there. I know there was a lot of rumours about possibly selling him, but I think when you get a guy I think he'll guarantee you 25 goals, 30 goals. I know he misses a lot of chances, which is frustrating for the Rangers supporters, but when you've got a guy like that who gets into good positions, Peter never hides either. You never see him missing a couple and disappearing. And he's always there to take the next one, and I think that's a great philosophy as a striker to have, is to not get disappointed and just keep getting in there and hopefully you get your goal. But I think if Dessers is still around at Rangers, he's got to be one of the favourites. I think Lorne Shankland will have a good season at Hearts as well, so depends who the number 9 is at Celtic. I think they could possibly still sign a big striker, so we have to wait and see who's going to be the top goal scorer. But I think if Dessers is still at Rangers, he's guaranteeing you 25 goals.
No surprise that Maeda, 33 goals last season, is the favourite along with Shankland at 5-1.
Yeah, I think that Maeda obviously had a brilliant season last season at Celtic. He switched him into the middle of the pitch and he scored a lot of goals from a striker point of view. But is he going to play as the main striker at Celtic? I don't know. With that amount of goals, probably starts the season as their striker, but then Celtic, I think, are weaker in the wider areas. So Adam Ida's obviously £9 million he wants to play, and Shinya Yamada's come in. So listen, I think it's interesting to see who starts the season as the main number 9 at Celtic, but I think if you've scored 33 goals one season, you're rightfully the favourite for the following season. Yeah,
you hear lots of gossip and stories that come out, maybe just agents or maybe just flyers from journalists. Would you say a leader?
I think he's not been great, Peter. I think for £9 million, I think he obviously came in on loan and scored a lot of important goals. Celtic kind of forced into buying him. I think he had a disappointing season last year. I think if you can get your money back, if you're getting 9-10 million, or Celtic very rarely lose money on players. I think if you're getting offered 10 million plus, then you probably take it. I think Celtic fans would take it, but it all depends on what Brendan Rodgers thinks. Does he think he's going to improve again this season and be his number 9? Or do you cut your losses and take your money back? So I'd keep him, Peter. I think he's young enough, and I think he's got enough potential to get better. At Celtic, he's only 21, 22 years old. I think he can get better. So for me, unless you're getting offered 15 million plus, which I don't think they will, I would keep him.
Yeah, we're getting ready for the new season. Obviously, I've made a rule, Tam, which I know you'll be absolutely delighted with, which is we're not going to actually pick who we think's going to go down, who we think's going to win the league until the 1st of September.
Yeah.
Because the transfer window will close and we'll get a real sense of where everybody is. Are you excited by the opening weekend of the season?
I am, Peter. I think it's always a great season. The seasonal opener. You get the flag unfurled, or Falkirk will be unfurling their flag as well. So I think it's always exciting for fans to see how you're going to do. I think there's a lot of hope and dreams at the start of the season. For your own team personally, you think that this could be the season we really do something, and then if you win your opening game, you think, oh, this could be a good season for us. If you get beat, you're thinking doom and gloom. So I think it's always a really exciting start of the season for players and for fans, and I'm looking forward to the Hearts-Aberdeen game. I think that's two teams that should be pushing for third place this season. Yeah,
I was going to ask you, you're a gambling man at times, you like a wee flutter. Have you already stuck a fiver on who you think is going to be sacked instantly in the first quarter?
I'm not really a sack man, Peter, but I've done a wee league bet. So I'd fancy Celtic to win the Premier League. I'd fancy St Johnstone to win the Championship. Inverness League 1 and East Kilbride League 2. So I've done a wee tenner on that.
Wow, already?
For my 4 league. Yeah, right, probably went a wee bit early, but I think particularly East Kilbride, I think they've started really well. I think their odds are coming tumbling down. So, yeah, I don't know about the sack race, but in terms of the league winners, I think that'll be the 4.
Yeah, if it was me...
Who do you think is going to win the 4 leagues?
Well,
At this minute?
At this minute, I think the toughest one to call is the Championship.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
Because it's so ridiculously hard. If it was me right now, I can't see past... in the Premiership, I think Rangers are going to have to come up with 3 or 4 players of genuine quality to start. I think Russell Martin will, from my point of view, get the style of the team. But remember, he's got a tough opening month with some games that I think he's got to win. There can't be any kind of a slip-ups. I think if we get out of August with suddenly a gap between Rangers and Celtic, suddenly, people start to moan because social media intensifies the pressure. I can't see past Celtic, because even with Brendan Rodgers in a situation where I think
there's a lot of bedwetting, but amongst the Celtics, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, I look at what's going on social media. Russell Martin comes in, not the man really that Rangers fans want. Brendan Rodgers holding back on criticising. He hasn't got the players he wants. I know he wants 3 or 4 quality players to start that'll give him a chance in that Champions League to replicate what they did last year. Then you're saying to yourself, well, if Aberdeen hadn't won the Scottish Cup, would people have been looking and saying, no, Jimmy Tillene's not the man? Hearts have got to try and close the gap on Hibs, because you're judged in the Edinburgh City as, can you finish above your rivals? So I think Derek McInnes is the right man for the job. But equally, I'm looking at David Gray and thinking, what a great end to the season for the High Bees. So those are the teams that I think will be in the top half of it. And then the bottom half, you're looking and saying, well, if the Dundee board start listening to people who have got no real clout, but start listening to them and listening to some fans saying we don't like Stephen Presley, he's going to be under pressure by the end of August. And I think Stephen Presley should be given the time, to start and start bringing players in that he wants to bring in. They need to back him. And
Dundee lost a lot of players, Peter.
Yeah.
They lost Lyle Cameron, they lost Mulligan, who went to Hibs. I think Adewemi, the striker from Burnley, he went back, the left back, Larkesh, went back to QPR, Joe Shaughnessy. So I think they've lost a lot of players, and I think Stephen's trying to emphasise that in interviews and saying, he's been honest, I don't think Dundee fans like it, Peter, but he's been honest, saying it's a rebuilding job. What is success? Tony Docherty gets sacked, but success, he gets sacked at keeping the club up, so does he need to get in the top 6? So I don't think that the Dundee fans are really happy with Stephen being so honest, but I think there needs to be a bit of realism about Dundee.
Here's a question for you, Tam, one of your old clubs as well. You've talked about Dundee. Can Falkirk still play the same type of football with the squad that they have and hope to get results?
Yep, I think they will, Peter. I don't think they'll change. I think if it was ever going to change, they'd done it at Parkhead last year, when they went there and went 2-1 up and really, really took it the game to Celtic. I think if you get the bottle to do it there, Peter, at Parkhead, you're going to do it at home against Dundee United and Hibs and Hearts. So, will it be successful? I don't know. They're up against better quality, but John McGlynn will not change his philosophy, and I think they'll go and be a really exciting team to watch this year.
Yeah. So many questions. You can give us your thoughts. Who's going to win the league? Who's going to get relegated? If you want to wait till September 1st, we're quite happy with that as well. The opening games of the season, I'm certainly looking forward to them. And you can give us your thoughts on how you think they're all going to go. We're going to go through our predictor again to see exactly where we're going to go with that, how we're going to fare. And we'll also get your predictions over the course of the weekend. Don't forget also, we'll have the whole team here on Friday to look in greater detail at all of the weekend Scottish Premiership fixtures. If you were pushing me in the Championship, I think St Johnstone are the favourites to come straight back up, because I think, I don't know about you, Tam, I thought he was getting it together towards the end. I thought they were responding to Simo Valakari in the way he was playing.
Yeah, listen, I think that it's going to be tight. I think Dunfermline, obviously, with Neil, they've started well. They've got a lot of younger players, Neil.
Yeah.
If they start well, I don't know how big a club Dunfermline is. They support the town, the city gets behind them.
And County with a bit of money.
Ross County have got the best squad on paper, Peter, but they've been pretty poor in the League Cup section. Losing to Partick Thistle at home, drawn away to Stranraer. So they've not started well, and I think Don, if they don't start well, he'll come under pressure, because obviously took the club down last year. So I think it's a real. Raith Rovers might be decent this year. I think they've got a good squad. So United with Scott Brown. So There's 4 or 5 clubs in there who would fancy their chances, but I agree with you about St Johnstone. I think that they're starting to come round to the way Simo Valakari wants to play. They've scored a lot of goals in the League Cup campaign, and they go into it in good fettle, so I think St Johnstone might be the one to beat.
Yeah. In the Premiership, we'll look at the games in greater detail. Don't forget, it is indeed our premium service that we are asking you to sign up to. You'll get lots more content, one-to-ones. The journals is on there. And of course, that's been a very popular programme last year. You can get one-to-ones on there. We're giving away some special prizes. So you'll see the link below. Hit the link, subscribe to PLZ Premium. The football show remains free throughout the entire season. We've got lots of great features for you. We've even got some great gadgets, Tam, which I think you're going to look forward to. You're going to talk us through formations. I'm going to put you on the spot with your SFA coaching certificate. And you're going to have to tell me how teams are going to play. And we're going to get Scott Allen right alongside you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, Peter. I think you've obviously been a bit of investment here in the technology, and I think myself, Scott, and the other guys will enjoy, going through teams and tactics and something different.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget to subscribe to PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel and get on that premium case as well. Great to hear from Tam on the programme. We will join you tomorrow, 4 o'clock, as ever, on the football show. Thanks for watching and listening.